Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 2021 FASCAR season here on the War Given Racing Network. Today, we come to you live from the Talladega Superspeedway for the 8th race in the 2021 FASCAR season. This is the second crown jewel that kicks off the second leg of 7 races this season. And let's see who is able to take home that second crown jewel of the year. So, starting off with a quick recap of the driver's standings, Michael Mcdowell continues his lead of the point standings on 1,440 points, followed by Brad Keselowski, who trails by 35 points. Christopher Bell is in third on 1,395 points, with Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. rounding out the top 5. The top 20 you see here normally would be safe to automatically qualify for a race. However, with Talladega being a crown jewel, all drivers that are entered today must make the field of 36. You take a quick look at the team standings. Joe Gibbs extends their lead over Team Penske to 125 points. Gibbs has been in the lead ever since the very first race of the season. So now taking a look at qualifying for today's race, still split up into the two groups. However, the times from those in the top 20 and the rest of the field are combined, and the top 36 of those make the field. So looking at those who did not qualify for today's race, the number 52, the number 15, of Rick Ware Racing, as well as the 21 of the Wood Brothers, BJ McLeod in the 78, Quinn Half in the 00, David Reagan in the 36, who's his second start of the season, with him racing only the Crown Jewel races for Front Row Motorsports. The 13 of James Early, sadly for his first super speedway race, unable to qualify in the top 36, and then the number 66 of Timmy Hill rounding out the back of the field, being the 44th car in qualifying, and so obviously not making today's race. Taking a look at the starting grid, we have Joey Logano on pole, followed by Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Preece, Michael McDowell, Christopher Bell, Kurt Busch, Cole Custer, Brad Keselowski, and Chase Elliott rounding out the top 10. Notable qualifications in the top 20 is Corey LaJoie with a solid 16th for that Spire Motorsports number 7 Chevrolet, and Ross Chastain, after having a disappointing start to the season, being able to make the top 20 for today's race. Now looking at rows 11 to 15, rookie Austin Cindric, who is only running the Crown Jewel races this year in a part-time schedule for Team Penske, made the show today in his number 33 machine, as well as drivers that have been struggling, such as Anthony Alfredo, Eric Jones, Kyle Busch, all securing a solid starting spot for today's race. Another part-time car that made the field, AJ Allmendinger, made his, I believe, third race in a row, or not third race in a row, but third straight race that he entered in, after qualifying for both the road courses already this year and for the Talladega 500. Now looking at the final 3 rows, some normal features back here. Unfortunately, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Newman, and William Byron wrap up the 3 final inside slots, with the 77 of Justin Haley taking 32nd, the 96 of Ty Dillon taking 34th, and another part-time driver, Joey Gase for Rick Ware Racing, securing that all-important final spot. And just one thing to remember before we go to the track today, being a Crown Jewel event, the Talladega 500 gives you double points. So the championship is, even though Michael McDowell seems to be well ahead of everybody but Bell and Keselowski, anything can happen in these Crown Jewel races, especially on a super speedway. So with that, we will take you to the track for the start of today's race. And we're here at Talladega with the cars pulling out of the pits onto the front stretch. One thing that is unique about this 2.67 mile super speedway is that the start-finish line is not in the middle of the front stretch. Normally, ovals have either a bend at the front, which is called the tri-oval, or just simply approximately halfway down the front stretch, there's the start-finish line. Talladega is unique in the fact that you race out of turn 4 through the tri-oval and then down into the start-finish line, which is actually at the exit of the pits. So with this being a 2.67 mile speedway, we will be racing, I believe, 47 laps in today's race. FASCAR officials have determined that the fuel tanks ran at road courses and super speedways were too small for the cars to have effective racing, especially after the race 2 weeks ago at Circuit of the Americas, and have decided to expand the fuel tanks for the super speedways of Daytona, Talladega, and then all road courses. So the fuel window will be a bit longer today, probably approximately about 12 laps. So we still get to see 3 pit stops at the minimum. So as the field exits turn number 3 and heads into 4 to pull onto the front stretch, we have, again, Joey Logano on pole in his orange, I believe, Auto Trader Ford for Team Penske, followed by the FedEx number 11 of Denny Hamlin. As they pull out onto the front stretch, the pace car's about to pull away into the pits. And again, we will not go green until we go through the tri-oval and reach the flag stand on the other side. The excitement is building in the air as we cross the tri-oval for the only time before we get back to green. And the green flag is out, and away we go here at Talladega for 500 miles. And it looks like Joey Logano has gotten the best start of the bunch Denny Hamlin has the best start as Hamlin looks to pull down to the inside, heading into turns 1 and 2 as the cars go up the gears. Chase Elliott is forced to the outside as Ricky Stenhouse dives down to the inside. As you can see here, the field is mostly clean through 1 and 2, keeping in their 2 lines. As it looks like Kevin Harvick is giving a good push to Logano, which forces him outside to the outside lane. Harvick now leading that inside lane, takes the lead heading into 3 and 4. That inside lane is the most formed up with 5 cars. As the outside lane gets bumped up, the teammates of Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell are stuck on the outside, although they reform into the top lane coming out of turn 4. Michael McDowell now pulls out from the draft of Kevin Harvick, leaving him alone on the outside lane for now as we cross the stripe to complete lap 1 here at Talladega. We ride along with Chase Elliott, who is appearing in the 8th position but making passes here on the inside line. You can see the field is starting to spread out, trying to form that single file line in order to get their momentum up. As you can see, momentum is everything, as Kevin Harvick, being left alone on the outside, has now dropped back to at least 7th or 8th position. As the number 9 is being pushed into turns 3 and 4 by the 17 of Chris Buescher, who in turn is being pushed by the 19 of Martin Truex. Denny Hamlin has been able to fall back down onto the inside lane as Ricky Stenhouse and Kurt Busch lead the outside line. As we head through the tri-oval for the second time, Brad Keselowski leaves Michael McDowell alone on the outside. Chase Elliott, after thinking about going to the outside, sticks with the inside line. As we complete lap 2, the field is starting to spread out. Again, losing the draft here is tantamount to, well, losing the race, as the most important thing at Talladega is to have your car handling well in the pack. If you lose the pack, you lose about 10 miles an hour, which you cannot recover from unless there is a caution. Now, since we are at a super speedway, the likelihood of those cautions are greater, but at the same time, you cannot rely on them. As we look farther back in the field to see 2 cars dropping off the pace, it looks like it's the 53 of Joey Gase and the 96 of Ty Dillon. The number 77 and 33 bring up the rear as well, as William Byron is struggling to get up front, or to move his way up through the field after starting so far back. Completing lap 3 here at Talladega, we now take a look at the number 6 of Ryan Newman, who is reportedly in his final season of FASCAR racing. There have been reports coming out of Roush Fenway that due to Newman's poor performance to start the first 20% of the season, that they are looking to replace him with another driver. More details on that to come later on in the silly season update. Obviously, this season is still pretty new, as this is only race 8, and anyone still realistically can win the championship, mathematically can still win the championship. As we have the 38 of Anthony Alfredo in the back of this outside line, with the 43 of Eric Jones being pushed by the 10 of Eric Almirola just to the inside. These cars are apparently employing the strategy of hanging back and letting those in front of them race and possibly wreck out. Again, one of the strategies available to those drivers on a super speedway. As we now see 3 wide racing here only on lap 5. This is going to either work extremely well or be extremely devastating to this field of 36 cars. It looks like at least, I'd probably say 66% of them are involved in this 3-wide pack, as now the 43, the 42, the 43, and the line of cars behind them pull up into the inside lane. Still out in front is Denny Hamlin, who has managed to work his way back up into the front of the field, being pushed by the 37 and 22, although the 37 now dives to the inside. The outside lane continues to try and stay formed, as the 51 of Cody Ware has managed to jump from starting, I believe, 23rd into the top 10, pushing for a top 5, as he is 3rd on the inside lane. As we come 3 wide through turn number 2 and out onto the backstretch for lap number 6. The laps are flying by, as we have nearly reached 1/6 of the race distance. Ryan Preece, unable to hook up with his teammate of Ricky Stenhouse, now leads that outside tandem of Denny Hamlin and Preece himself, although it looks like Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, and Alex Bowman are looking to form it coming off of turns 4. Again, the inside line seems to be the most dominant so far here today, with currently the number, I believe that's the 22. Yes, that's the 22 of Joey Logano out in front. Although now Cody Ware dives to the outside lane. Again, if you were here for the 500 miles of Daytona, the first race of the season, these cars would most likely be pitting now. But due to that regulation change that I mentioned before the start of the race, FASCAR has allowed teams to expand their fuel tanks in order to prevent high-speed accidents coming out of turn 4 and onto pit road, as more pit stops equals more desperation for these drivers in order to make sure they don't lose significant amounts of time. Anyways, as we look to complete lap 7 here, Joey Logano is out in front, being pushed by the number 3 of Austin Dillon, followed by the 42 of Ross Chastain and the 51 of Cody Ware. We look on board the Smithfield Ford here. Eric Almirola, another one of those drivers looking for a strong result today, with the double points of this Crown Jewel race. Scoring well could very well turn around his season, as there have also been rumors at Stuart Haas that he may be replaced as well. So he is one of those drivers fighting for his career. One driver that's certainly not fighting for his career at the moment is the 34 of Michael Mcdowell. Mcdowell sits atop the championship right now, with his rivals Brad Keselowski currently running in 24th and Christopher Bell running in 9th. Oh, although Christopher Bell has managed to get right up behind McDowell. I apologize. I forgot to mention that the scoring loops that we have here at FASCAR still are in the process of being updated and have to update after every lap. So once again, I apologize for any confusion on positioning, the positions of your driver. It just has to wait for the lap to cycle. As we hit lap 9, do we have any action on pit road? Let's take a look at the timing screen. No, but it looks like the number 16 of AJ Allmendinger has suffered a mechanical problem and has gone 4 laps down. One reason why the race has remained green is most certainly because Allmendinger was running in the back of the pack and did not get in the way and was able to make it down onto pit road. If we take a look down pit road here, it looks like Allmendinger is not out in his pit stall, meaning he is in the garage and most likely retired from today's race. A shame from the Cullet crew, who managed to make their second super speedway race of the season. And now Christopher Bell being pushed by rookie Anthony Alfredo to the lead. We are seeing an absolute crazy amount of lead changes today here at Talladega, which again is normal, as this is a wide open track for every lap except for when you pit. But it is kind of strange to see how in sync these lines are. Being able to run this cleanly, staying, separated enough that they can get runs but not collide. As you can see, Brad Keselowski, after being 24th just a lap ago, is now up into the top 5. And another remarkable fact is that the top 27 cars are within 2 seconds of the lead, as it looks like we do have a few that have pit. Those being the 62, the 8, the 6, or simply they just are forming up. We'll go back to them now. And it just looks like they have formed up in a second pack farther back behind the leaders. Of course, these being the slower cars naturally means that they will not be able to carry that same speed that the front group of over 20 cars have. But then again, they are losing a lot less time now than they were when they were just running single file. So currently last of the running cars is the 8 of Tyler Reddick, although it looks like the number 24 of William Byron soon will be, as Reddick goes to the inside of Byron and Gregson, as we take a look behind and see that empty track as the leaders complete lap 11. And Christopher Bell is still out in front, and we have 2 definitive lanes formed up here. The pit window will be opening soon. Let's see how many of these drivers decide to come down for that undercut and what type of tire strategy they will take. Most likely, I predict that they will take 2 tires only for this stop, as well as fuel. And then the next stop, they'll take the other side tires and then fuel as well. Although, honestly, with how bumpy the track surface is here today, it would not surprise me if the teams decided to take 4 tires just to be safe. That way they don't have that imbalance in the car. As farther back here, we now have 3 distinct lines forming up, although back up into the front, the leaders are just switching back and forth behind the faster lines as we complete lap 12. We settle in here for this first quarter of the race. Again, a fairly typical Talladega Super Speedway race, all in the draft. Who can keep hold of that draft? And surprisingly, no cautions. We haven't seen any really desperate moves, any strange moves, any mechanical failures in the pack, which is always a good thing. Although we do have 1 retirement from this race, AJ Allmendinger in the number 16. Again, that will not affect the championship standings too much, as Allmendinger is a part-time car and not expected to compete for the championship or even the top 20, in fact. Although there have been rumors about Colleague Racing, the team that the 16 runs for, as well as AJ Allmendinger, is looking to go FASCAR Racing next season. With the introduction of the newest generation of cars and the change in how those cars are built, several teams have been rumored to possibly be joining the series. Colleague Racing, with already having a semi-established Cup program, is definitely first on that list. But it looks like the outside lane here has lost its momentum as Kyle Larson on the inside powers around the remnants of that outside lane as we approach the end of lap 14 here of 47. Again, masterful control from Christopher Bell to keep himself on that bottom, but right as I say it, the door opens and Ryan Preece scoots down the inside, pushed by Brad Keselowski. Preece is currently sitting in the top 10 in points, and I believe that's the highest a JTG car has been in the point standings for quite some time, if ever. as Brad Keselowski looks to the inside and into the lead, being pushed by the 41 of Cole Custer. We have another new leader here today as Kyle Larson drops out of that inside lane. Oh, as we have cars pitting. We have the first bunch of cars pitting, and it looks like everyone has gotten off the track cleanly here. It looks like about a dozen cars have decided to make their stop here. Again, we shall see what type of strategy they pull. Is it going to be 2 or 4 tires as we ride on board with the 43 of Eric Jones? And you can see that second group of cars now going by with a few of them pitting. I don't know if that's the smartest thing from those 2 cars that just pit, as they're not going to have the advantage of being in that pack. Eric Jones seems to have a problem with his refueling as he is jumped by several cars on pit lane. Although Jones and most of the field here took 2 tires. No real losers/winners from the stops as they now power back out onto the track. And as the majority of the field also comes back into the pit road, it looks like, I believe, everybody from that lead pack has managed to make their way down safely onto pit road as we take a look out to see if anyone has stayed out. Although we got a really slow number 10 car coming out of the pits. Does Almirola have a problem as he pulls back up, or was he just slow getting through the gears? He might have, nope, just slow getting through the gears as he now enters 4th gear. Again, a really slow back up onto the track from the number 10. Oh, as we have a small collision here on pit road between the 18 and the 33. It looked like the 33 was pulling into the pits and clipped the right rear of the 18 as they exit the pits on lap 17. As we have the cars from that first group of pit stops pulling out and around. Again, the draft is critical here, and does the 1 lap of older tires give that undercut, or how powerful is the undercut is really what I'm trying to say here, as Cole Custer's powering down the back stretch, catching up to the 2 of Brad Keselowski, who seems to not be yet up to speed, entering turns 3 and 4. It looks like Custer will not get there, as Keselowski now in 3 and 4 does sound like he is mostly back up to speed, although Custer continues to gain. Custer's teammate, rookie Chase Briscoe, is now in 3rd place, followed by Ryan Preece and Kyle Larson to round out the top 5 of those who pit. And it looks like Cole Custer has caught Keselowski, as Custer now takes the lead of the race, completing lap 17 here. We are approaching 1/3 race distance, and Custer is in the lead, followed by Keselowski. Briscoe, although Preece is going to the outside. Preece now takes 3rd place away from the 14 of Chase Briscoe, with the number 5 of Kyle Larson following behind. And then there are 5 cars 3 wide back here, fighting for the remainder of the top 10. The number 5, the number 7, the number 4, the 20, the 34, and the 47, all now approaching the 5, who since he was by himself, did not have the speed of this small pack of cars. And you can see that here. These cars that managed to get themselves into a semi-pack are able to pick up speed, while those cars kind of left out alone, like Austin Dillon here, will fall back into the clutches of this next pack that has formed up. And if he's lucky, hook on, but if not, he could be left in no man's land, really, as this second major pack has managed to reform mostly. Let's see, is there anyone else? Yes, the 77 and 96 seem to be left off by themselves, as Keselowski has retaken the lead here from Cole Custer. As now we settle into a bit of tandem drafting here at Talladega. Tandem meaning 2, the 2-car tandem draft, as the chasing packs look to reform and get that speed up in order to catch up to the leaders, as Keselowski and Custer have about a 3.5 second lead on the second tandem of Preece and Briscoe. Again, an extremely clean race here today at Talladega, as there have been no cautions so far in today's race. Although we do have a change in the lead, Cole Custer pulls to the inside of Keselowski coming out of turn 2, but Keselowski with that speed down the backstretch might pass the 41 again. This is really hurting these two cars' overall speed. As you can see here, Ryan Preece is much closer to them than on the previous lap. But who is gaining the most amount of time is this second pack of Mcdowell, Harvick, LaJoie, Bell, and Stenhouse. Oh, and Larson, who are all trying to ride around and catch up at least with that second tandem in front of them. As you can see, another two packs have managed to form up more or less, starting with the 22 of Joey Logano, your pole sitter, who is currently riding around in the 12th position, although it looks like it may change to 11th here as they cross the strike. As Alex Bowman dives to his inside with the train of cars behind him, Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano are stuck in no man's land out on the outside. As they come down the backstretch, the front pack still just hasn't caught those tandems, although they are much closer, as you can see on the timing screen. Custer and Keselowski battling for the lead has cost them over a second across these last two laps, and Preece and Briscoe are getting reeled in by that chasing pack, who now seem to have caught the back of them. Kevin Harvick looks to be in the draft range of his teammate in the 14. Now these top 10 cars have about a 7-second gap between them and that second large pack that is currently being led by Daniel Suarez. Although it would not shock me if he gets pushed to the outside here. And now Eric Almirola takes over 11th. These two larger packs in the back have managed to form themselves up in order to get their momentum up. It is called a train, and it certainly looks like one, although Chase Elliott may be making a mistake here, diving to the outside, becoming the fourth car in that outside lane. We saw earlier that the outside lane was able to keep up with the inside lane, except it really needed to be established with at least probably 5 to 6 cars, which they do not have at the moment. As now Ryan Preece has taken the lead. We missed a change for the lead as the front chasing group has caught the two tandems, and now Preece and Briscoe, managing to get hooked up to the front of the chasing pack, has been pushed to the lead. Custer and Keselowski still relatively hanging on, as now it seems like Kyle Larson is losing the draft. Whether that be through setup, tire wear, engine wear, something, it just looks like he's dropping back and soon will be falling well behind this top 9. As we approach the halfway mark of today's race, Ryan Preece, although it looks like now Michael McDowell will pull to the inside and take the lead. Again, I don't know if this is courtesy from the drivers, not making blocks, but Ryan Preece is giving 10 free bonus points to Michael McDowell, as McDowell has now led a lap of a Crown Jewel race. Again, these drivers are probably being more conservative this year than they have in previous years due to the full points season format and the double points, which is refreshing to see, as this has still been close, tight racing. See cars enter 3 and 4 for the 24th time, and we approach the halfway mark of today's race. Kyle Larson has closed back in on this top 10. That second pack is still 7.5 seconds back, as you can see, exiting turns 3 and 4. As for the lead, it looks like McDowell ran up the track. Kevin Harvick might have it here. No, I think McDowell has it once more. As now running 3 wide here, I don't really agree with that. There aren't really the cars in this pack to sustain 3 wide very effectively, as Stenhouse looks to make a small block on LaJoie, but LaJoie dives down all the way to the inside. And the inside lane pushes Ryan Preece back up into the lead, who then jumps out to the outside. And now we seem to have had a split in this second pack, as someone may have checked up or something, as it looks like the 48 of Bowman has a problem. Or as we go around, there may have been pit stops here. We shall see as we come around turns 3 and 4. on lap number 25 here in this chasing pack, being led at the moment by Denny Hamlin. A really strange occurrence. No, it just looks like someone got loose, checked up, and it caused the pack to split up. Listening to the engine noises here, it sounds like Briscoe is slightly down on power. It could just be a glitch with his engine, or he could be losing a cylinder or piston. As we ride along Ross Chastain, and you can definitely hear Chastain here struggling to get that pace because he doesn't have anyone to draft with. And Daniel Suarez has dropped back from 11th position all the way to 24th by just getting a little bit out of shape with that group. Although we possibly did have someone pit, as it looks like the 18 has dropped back in the field significantly. As we go back to try and find the number 18. He seems to have dropped out of this race altogether. That must have been the problem. On lap 24, 25, the 18 of Kyle Busch to pit road. Although we didn't see him on pit road, which almost certainly means that he has retired from this race, or at least gone back to the garage, as Kevin Harvick now leads coming out of turn 2. So you can see ahead possible lap cars of the 77 and 96, with the 33 of Austin Cindric running just in front of them. Although, what is this? It sounds like Ty Dillon has either ran out of fuel or he's lost engine power. He pulled off well before these drivers usually come down to pit road. Something is wrong here on his number 96 Toyota as the leaders go past, putting him a lap down. We will keep an eye on him as he was able to pull off down to the apron. No caution has been shown, so we are still under green flag. As you can see, the second pack of cars going by as Dillon pulls into his pit stall. And it looks like they are putting tires on, so he may have had a blown tire. Something happened with the 96 that really cost him some speed, and that was, shown by the fact he couldn't keep up. As we take a look on board with the number 62, who's the leader of the pack at the rear. The 62 team owner for Beard Motorsports has been now seen on record, or has given comments to why the team that originally set out to compete in only 13 races this season, the Crown Jewels, non-Crown Jewel super speedways and road course races, has gone full-time, and he says it is because of his driver. Noah Gragson has managed to keep the car within the grasp of the top 20 and as well as in the top 15 in the team points. And the owner of the team said that, that was what he needed them to do. As the leaders here have caught lap traffic and has really checked up them, as Cindric, being by himself, has really slowed down that inside lane. The outside cars of Priest and Bell have done a little bit better due to Justin Haley having a little bit more momentum with his drafting with Ty Dillon the lap before. And so Priest has retaken the lead. Although we will see here what Haley does as he's fighting to stay on the lead lap as we approach the end of lap 29 here. Pit stops will be coming shortly as these guys pit around lap 16 or 17, I believe, meaning they will have one more stop after the next stop. As Mcdowell goes through to the inside. I don't blame Justin Haley for trying to get in the way. He's fighting for his lead lap, and once you go a lap down, unless some pit cycle strategy comes into play, you're really going to struggle. As this lead pack has, again, been broken up by those lap cars. You can see Cindric just desperately trying to hang on here to the back of Justin Haley as we have our first pit stop for the front group. It's Kevin Harvick, and he's pit alone. Well, sad to say, as a Kevin Harvick fan, this eliminates him from today's race win contention, unless something like a caution happens, as he's not going to have any help. He's going to come out of the pits, and he's going to be alone, and he's going to run a lot slower than a lot of the drivers. As we have more activity on pit road here on lap 31. Brad Keselowski has worked his way back up into the lead and is now trying to catch the very slow Ty Dillon. it sounds like Ty Dillon has lost at least one piston, but has managed to make minimum speed according to FASCAR officials, meaning he is allowed to be out on track. Dillon is down in 34th, 2 laps down, and about to go a third, although pit stops here will probably keep him on this only 2 laps down, as Preece, Custer, and Chase Briscoe all pull into the pits. You see a car further back in the field that has pit ahead of them. Let's see who it is. It is William Byron, who's still running in the back of the pack, not having a great day at the office as they pull into their boxes for the second stop of the day. Most teams took 2 tires on the last stop. It looks like 2 tires will be the norm, at least for Ryan Preece, as the left-hand side goes up, meaning they're only changing that side and putting some racing fuel in. Cole Custer must have changed the lefts on the last stop as he took right side tires here, and Chase Briscoe leads out of pit road. So as they get up to speed, we had more cars on pit road from that front group. No, this is from the second group. As Eric Almirola leads from them as Kevin Harvick goes flying by. If we take a look, it looks like Kyle Larson is the only one from that lead group that has not pit. Again, relatively clean on the pit road. Quite impressive considering we saw incidents at Daytona with drivers getting down to pit road speed. As we ride along here with the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse. Will he take left sides like his teammate in the 37? Yes, he will. They are sticking left-hand side tires on the 47 or the 47 Chevrolet and filling it fuel. And he's away. Lost a little bit of time to Brad Keselowski, but still a good stop. Keselowski overtakes Bell coming out of the pits as we ride along with Keselowski, now taking a look behind to see where those cars that pitted on lap 32 or 31 come out. As you can see them crossing, I believe, the start-finish line now. As the 2, the 20, the 47, and I believe that's the, I want to say the 5? No, the 77, the lap car of the 77. As here comes that first group, Chase Briscoe, as we ride on board with him, leading it. Although Ryan Preece is coming around the outside, the 3 Stewart-Haas cars have linked up together strongly, although Corey LaJoie may impede the 41 here. And he does so. The 4 and 41 are slowed up by the 7 who just got back on track. But it looks like the 20 and the 2 have pulled away. Again, we are seeing 2 major tandems forming here, although the tandem of the 77 and the 47 most likely won't last as we approach the 75% race completion mark. As we see another car on pit road, that looks like it is the 99 of Suarez. Okay. I was going to say it looked like the 11 of Denny Hamlin, but I knew the 11 had already pit. As let's take another look here through the field. We have 30 cars remaining on the lead lap here today, with the 33, the 77, the 99, the 96 all being running cars that have been lapped. It seems like the 99 must have had a problem on their stop, which has caused them to go 2 laps down. Again, Suarez was trying to get into the top 10, leading that second pack after the first round of pit stops, and seems to just have more mechanical problems for that 99 Trackhouse team. Sorry about that, folks, but Brad Keselowski has now retaken the lead into turn number 1 and 2 and powers down the backstretch with Bell lining up behind in the draft. The 5 of Kyle Larson is kind of in no man's land here in third, about 1 1/4 seconds back of the leaders. And then we have the chasing pack with everyone on the lead lap here except for Justin Haley, who is holding up his teammate, Corey LaJoie. But in 4th position is Preece, followed by Briscoe, then LaJoie, Stenhouse, Custer, and Harvick, rounding out that top lead pack of 9 cars. Denny Hamlin leads. Oh no! Tragedy! Oh, this is horrible. Championship leader Michael McDowell's engine has gone up in smoke. Oh no. What a disaster. for the front row team. They were running well too. And folks, that is again why every single race matters here in FASCAR. Mcdowell has been up front for the most of the season. He's been leading the championship the last 2 races. But today he will finish at best, if the 99 does not get back on track, 33rd, which in a normal race would earn him 35 points, and today would earn him 70 points plus bonus points, and that's the best he could do. He's for sure, and he'll probably finish behind the 99 as the 99 is still on pit road getting repairs. Disaster. That is absolute disaster for the number 34 and his championship aspirations. And it's a shame, too, because, I mean, McDowell's been struck with bad luck once again. McDowell's been in the lead of races. He's dominated races, but he's just simply been unfortunate enough to not win a race, as the very slow 96 is split by the 2 leaders as they look to then sync back up. That puts the 96 a second or a third lap down, as it looks like the number 10 of Aric Almirola, like I mentioned earlier, who seemed to be slow, has also pulled into the garage. Man, cars are dropping like flies here at Talladega, but not for the normal reasons. It seems like mechanical failures have been the Grim Reaper of today's race. As Christopher Bell retakes the lead, completing lap 37. We now have 10 laps to go here at Talladega. These cars most likely will have to make at least one more pit stop in order to make it to the checkered flag, although they may be good. Who knows? We shall find out here on the War Given Racing Network. Once again, if you look to watch and catch up on all of the previous action, please check out the playlist, the 2021 FASCAR season playlist. That has the introduction video, the clash, the duels, the first race of the season, and every race that has been run so far. This is race number 8, the second crown jewel at Talladega in the Talladega 500. As it looks like the 99 of Suarez has now finally pulled back off pit road. Suarez, after again running promisingly, is now 6 laps down, or now he's 6 laps down. As Keselowski and Bell still fight for the lead, the closing pack is the 41, the 5, and the 37. It looks like the 4 has dropped off significantly and has fallen back, along with the 47, into the clutches of Denny Hamlin. Again, just a very strange super speedway race here today. No, I mean, pack racing to start, expected. Green flag pit stops were surprisingly clean. But really, the chasing groups have just been fighting too much. And I mean, as much as I hate train racing, it's the quickest way around this track. And these chasing cars have not figured that out. And I find that kind of crazy. But the 7, 14, and 3 are trying to form up on the 47, the 4, and the 11 in order to get back up into that front group, who has just now lapped the 8 of Tyler Reddick. It seems like we have 5 cars in contention for today's race victory with 8 laps to go. Christopher Bell and Brad Keselowski will for sure take the lead of the championship. One of them will, as Michael McDowell, the championship leader, has retired from this race due to an engine failure. And it does look like McDowell will finish 33rd due to Aric Almirola also suffering mechanical problems. As the inside line of Custer, Preece, and Larson powers by the 2 and the 20. Heading out onto the front stretch, this is where it gets tense. Can these drivers make it not only on fuel, but on patience, as we have not seen a caution yet today? It's, again, 4 cars for the victory, as the next pack is over 7 seconds back. It would take a miracle for them to not only gain, the position and the time, but I guess just a position in time. I don't know what I'm talking about here. There's no way that those 4 or 5 cars can make up a second and a half a lap to catch up to the lead pack and then pass them. As Larson now on the outside with the 2 behind him, has the 20 of Bell to his inside, passing him for second place. This will definitely be Larson's best finish of the season, although Larson has just been abandoned by the 2. Larson now stuck on the outside with no help except for the possible except for the lap car, the number 8 of Tyler Reddick. Although Bell has pulled out in order to get on the outside for whatever reason, I do not know. We have 6 laps here at Talladega. As we take a quick look back into that second pack, there's really 2 mini packs. One of 3 lead lap cars and the other of 3 lead lap cars and the number 77. And then we have I guess this is the 4th pack that's actually formed up into 2x2 racing, although the slow 99, that is multiple laps down, has really impeded that outside lane's progress. And these cars start in 12th position, 18 seconds behind our leaders. And these 5 cars are still going at it as Custer takes the lead, heading on to 5 to go. And it looks like the back 5 cars of Chastain, Newman, Byron, Joey Gase, a respectable 26th in his Rick Ware car, and then Noah Gragson in 27th have all managed to form up. And then you have all the cars. Well, then you have 2 cars, Cody Ware and Eric Jones, tandeming together. And then you have 12th back to 19th together. As again, heading into 3 and 4 here, the inside lane prevails. Ryan Preece has dropped back from 1st to 4th in just over a lap. Cole Custer's now, again, they're not taking the inside. I guess they are able to maintain enough speed heading out of the tri-oval to take the checker, what would be the checker at the line, but they don't have that speed heading into 1 and 2 as we have 4 laps to go here. We're going to ride along with the final car in this lead group as we have lap cars in front. This is the 96 of Ty Dillon, who's still sputtering around on the track. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! And it seems like the front 5 have managed to pass. Again, just what a fantastic race we've had here today. We've had battles for the lead. We've had close racing. We've had good pit stops. The crews have made a difference. And we've had clean racing. We have not had a caution yet in today's race. If a caution comes out now, it will most likely end today's race. Although the leaders would have to race back to the line in order to set that finishing order. As Preece from 4th to 1st with only 3 laps to go, and he has the inside line. Brad Keselowski's now left hanging on that outside with no one to help as Custer falls in behind the 20. And I don't think that they're going to catch the lap cars up in front that are currently entering 3 and 4, but they most certainly are going to use them as a pick if they can. As the outside now has 2 cars with Kyle Larson and Cole Custer, allowing Brad Keselowski to join up as Custer now dives to the inside, leaving Larson exposed on the outside. Bell shimmies up a bit, but stays behind the 37 as we come to 2 to go. Preece riding that line, and it looks like Bell falls out to the outside. Maybe trying to get more momentum heading into 1 and 2, but that seems to have backfired as Cole Custer and Brad Keselowski have poked down into the inside. The 37 of Preece, who has never won a FASCAR race, only has 1.5 laps to go here at Talladega as Bell tries to pull back in the line but is unable to do so. He's now side by side with Larson heading down the back stretch. As Custer pulls out a line, Preece goes up to block, but then drops back down inside in front of Keselowski. Again, Custer, I think he made that move too early as we enter 3 and 4. And then coming on the front stretch for the second to final time, we still have these front 5 cars separated by no more than 0.4 of a second. As Bell looks to the inside of Custer as we come to the white flag in the air. The next flag ends this race. Ryan Preece takes the white flag. Brad Keselowski, though, has the inside, but Preece has the support of the 5 of Larson and then the 41 of Custer. While Bell is going to push the 2 as we catch the lap car of Austin Cindric, who's well off the pace. Again, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Can these drivers successfully split another lap car here on the back stretch? It looks like the outside lane will be able to, but Keselowski gets suckered. gets stuck up behind his teammate, and this has killed the 2 and the 20's chances. It's now a 3-car race, and it looks like the 41 has gotten left out. Ryan Preece exiting for the final time on the front stretch. It's just him and Kyle Larson, and I don't think Larson's going to be close enough. Brad Keselowski's teammate blocked the wrong person. He brought Keselowski instead of Preece, and that's going to win Preece the race. Checkered flag in the air, and Ryan Preece takes the second crown jewel of the year, the Talladega 500, and his first ever FASCAR victory. The runner-up in today's race is Kyle Larson, followed by the 41 of Custer, the 2 of Keselowski, and the 20 of Bell, as we now look farther back in the pack, as it looks like that big pack of cars, about 10 strong, did catch up with the rear end of the top 10, just ran out of time, as these cars now start slowing down, as the final stragglers, including the venerable Ty Dillon with his cylinder gone 4 laps down, finishes the race. Now we'll just take a look to see, and then we have the backpack going strong across the line to end this race, and that looks to be everybody for today's Talladega 500. So now we take a look at the official results of today's race. So looking at it today, Ryan Preece comes away with his first FASCAR victory, and an important one, as again the double points of today's race. I apologize for the lack of covering on the points that the game simulates, breaking the fourth wall a bit here. I apologize for that. Ignore that points column. The FASCAR points are different than the Wiston Cup points. That's just a feature of the game. I once again apologize for my oversight on that. But anywho, back into the broadcast. Kyle Larson, an impressive runner-up finish with Custer, Keselowski, Bell rounding out the top 5. The second pack of Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse finishing 10 seconds off the pace. And then the majority of the field coming across 18 seconds back. Another good day for Corey LaJoie and that Spire team, and Anthony Alfredo getting a top 20 after a slightly disappointing start to the beginning of the season. And now we take a look at the retirements of today's race. You had A.J. Allmendinger bowing out after only 3 laps due to a header issue. Kyle Busch, due to a piston, dropped out about halfway in. Eric Almirola, a 2/3 race distance, dropped out with the header issue. And then championship leader Michael McDowell retires due to a camshaft issue. Oh, heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. And then we come to Daniel Suarez, who had some sort of mechanical problem that was able to be fixed by his team. Great job by the Trackhouse crew to get him back on track. Ty Dillon, the same thing, had some sort of mechanical problem and finishes 4 laps down. A disappointing day ultimately for Austin Cindric, who after qualifying well in 21st, dropped back to 30th. Justin Haley, a solid, clean day in 29th. And then Tyler Reddick rounding out your lapped cars. A disappointing day not being able to make it through the field, finishing 28th. And looking at the bonus points for today's race, Corey LaJoie earns the 10 bonus points for fastest lap with a 50.859. The most laps led today was Brad Keselowski, so he will earn 20 bonus points. Again, these bonus points are double their normal race values. Lap leaders, there were quite a few, as 9 cars led today with 27 lead changes on this very beautiful day in Talladega, Alabama. The leaders themselves were the 37 of Ryan Preece, the 5 of Kyle Larson, the 41 of Cole Custer, the 2 of Keselowski, the 20 of Bell, the 11 of Hamlin, the pole sitter Joey Logano led 3 laps, and then Truex led 1, and Michael McDowell led 7. And like I mentioned, Joey Logano won the pole and the bonus points associated with that. So, taking a look at the drivers' standings after the second crown jewel, Ryan Preece, Denny Hamlin, Cole Custer, the big winners, as Brad Keselowski takes the championship lead, now 40 points ahead of Christopher Bell. Ryan Preece, with that victory, moves into 3rd place, only 155 points behind. Some big losers are Michael McDowell, who dropped from first down to eighth. Martin Truex Jr., who dropped from fifth to ninth. And rookie James Early, who sadly was unable to qualify for today's race, dropped out of the top 15 all the way down to 21st. Chase Briscoe, another big winner, moving up 6 spots into 19th. So it's too late for him to make the top 20 for these 7 races, but for the next 7 races, he is looking competitive. And then farther back in the pack in points, another disappointment from the 21 team and their driver Matthew Di Benedetto, as he failed to even make today's race, again calling into question his future at the team. So as we look at the team standings, Joe Gibbs still is on top, although Team Penske has closed up just a little bit. JTG has jumped front row as they continue in third. Hendrick and Stewart Haas also move up to fourth and fifth, respectively, as front row, again, are the big losers, failing to hold on to their top 3 teams' standing. The other big loser, again, is James Early's team, Union Jack Racing, as they dropped 4 points down from 9th to 13th, or 4 positions from 9th to 13th, as Richard Childress capitalized on a strong performance from Austin Dillon to jump 23-11, Rick Ware Racing and Union Jack. So again, and then Beard Motorsports maintains their top 15 status in points. So that wraps up today's broadcast from the Talladega 500. Next time out, I believe we are at, I believe it's Richmond. Hold on a second. I need to confirm that to make sure I give you guys, the viewers, the most accurate data. So it is actually, well, it could be considered the crown jewel of the non-crown jewel races. It is actually the return of the North Wilkesboro Speedway to the FASCAR schedule. North Wilkesboro is a short track in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, that has been off the schedule since 1996, but due to an influx in funding from owners SMI, FASCAR has been able to make a return to the historic short track for the North Wilkesboro 250 next week. So with that being said, thank you all so much for coming out. Again, if you liked today's video, please give it a like. If you like the content on the channel, hit that subscribe button. Anything you'd like to see future on the channel, leave it in the comments. Again, check out the rest of the FASCAR races in the playlist on the channel, as well as the War Given Racing podcast, where we talk about everything going on in major motorsport series across the world on the channel. And again, thank you all so much. Have a great night, and cheers.